release and the relief of non-self, no self, no someone, no something. Like a key to break up the complicated thinking. Comes to my mind what Thich Nhat Hanh said. Breathing in, bring the mind home to the body. And when the mind is home in the body or with the body, and we're giving that attention, mental attention, to no thinking, to an absence of thoughts. And to have no thoughts is truly quite peaceful. When we practice mindfulness with detachment, we get this experience of no thinking. And we get the insight that thoughts return to or go to nothing. And through that insight, we realize that thoughts arise from nothing. And in non-thinking, we experience directly that thoughts do not arise and that thoughts do not cease. We realize that directly. That is freedom, true freedom from thinking.
Thì cái ly là của Hà để đó, cái đó tôi xin tiền. Nhưng mà nấu ly là nước nóng trong kia kìa, có cái kia nó đang nóng nặng này kìa cô Hà. Đó cái bình nước trong nó làm sao kìa. Vậy hả? Dạ. Cô Hà đẩy qua tự nãy con không có chỗ là ủa bây giờ để vậy sao được. Để đâu. Bây giờ cái bàn này để vô luôn rồi sao nãy được. Cắm trong này hả? Thôi rồi cắm đây đi nhé. Rồi nhét xuống rồi. Nhưng bây giờ cái bàn này người ta để vô rồi. Thôi giờ có bình nước nóng nè cô Hà đây rồi. Chị lấy con hấp rồi lên rồi nó sẽ vậy. Trời tờ giấy đâu mất tiêu hôm qua ghi với cô Hà mất tiêu cô Hà ơi cô Hà trời ơi xin lỗi cô Hà để nó mất tiêu cô Hà.
Everything. Alumbe, tukyan. Everything. Should be in Vietnam a little bit later this year. This is in LA. all thoughts are a train. And you are the train master, or master of trains, master of getting to the destination. And the destination for all of your thoughts, peace, it may not be that peace is such a cheap trick, but that you aren't looking closely enough at what is already here. And when we don't look closely at what is already here, we don't notice the depth to which we have access to releasing thoughts, and the depth to which it is important to release thoughts, to abandon thinking. As a practice, not as a blind deity worship. Just make sure that your deities aren't greed, anger, and delusion. Or ignorance and attachment. Don't make a deity out of ignorance and attachment. Make a practice of mindfulness and detachment. You come to join for the meditation?
No, she just drive by. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, let me show you where the meditation hall is.
Thank you, Bhante.
Where are you from?
Irvine. Brazil.
Oh. So this is a meditation center. This is a Buddhist meditation center. And that means that we are emphasizing for generosity, being a good person, and practicing meditation or practicing mindfulness. So practicing to be aware of what is already here at this moment, and we rest in that. We open to that. We face that. What is already here. And then all the little things that pop up, or the big things that pop up in the mind or in the body, we detach from those. Meaning we give them away. We don't allow them to control our mind and control what we do. So we keep practicing meditation, etc. So this is the main meditation hall. And none of these things are gods. All of these are mind archetypes. So it's like a archetype of saving children and saving people who are in like hellish mind. And then here we have a Guanyin Bodhisattva. So she is the archetype, we can say, of the mind of compassion, like the manifestation, the representation of compassion. And that's all of this around here is that. And then this is the Buddha. The Buddha is like the archetype or the manifestation of freedom, complete awakening. Okay. And you'll see some people like this around too, and I don't even know who that is. So this is the meditation hall, and All you'll have to do to participate is come in here and relax and sit and breathe and feel safe. This is a very, not just materially safe area or protected area, it's also a spiritually protected area. It's very difficult for negative spirit or beings to reach you here. So you can take.
We'll put it here.
Yeah, you can put that.
See here.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question is, sorry, the first question is, do you believe that we all come from nothing?
What is it?
First question is, do you believe that we all come from nothing?
Come from nothing? Who or what?
The world, the people.
So you're asking about the origin of the universe or the origin of the world, right?
Yeah.
All of our universe, right?
Mm.
So the Buddha taught that this is something called an imponderable. So that on one hand, we can't know that. And on the other hand, it's not going to do you any good to ponder about that, to think about that. It's like if you got a new car, you got a Jaguar or a Lamborghini, whatever. And then you start to think about constantly in your life, every time you see the car, every time you drive the car, who made it, how they made it, where those people were born, where their parents were, etc. It's just nonsense. And so similarly, when we think about the origin of the universe, it's just not important, not ponderable, not understandable.
Mm-hmm.
So even the scientists or something, maybe we say, oh, well, the scientists are thinking about things, so that's really good. Well, if there's something practical that comes out of it, that's great. But as a Buddhist, our practice is for peaceful freedom and coexistence with the environment in a way that reduces or ends suffering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your morality based on?
How would you feel if someone came in here and started yelling and screaming at you or at us?
Uncomfortable?
Yeah, you wouldn't feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how would you feel if someone came in and was very kind and offered you some flowers or some gifts or something like that? You'd feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in both sides, it's not because we're really losing or gaining something, because we're not here as a business person, right? So if someone came in and was really kind to you and generous to you, you wouldn't think, oh, I'm making a profit, now I feel good, right? So goodness is not about profit. In the same way, if someone came in and started yelling at you, you wouldn't think, oh, now I've got to take this off my list for today because I can only have so many people who are negative to me or whatever. What does it even mean to look at things like that, right? So if you do good, you feel good. Pleasure isn't good. There's nothing good about pleasure. Pleasure is just pleasurable. There's nothing bad about pain. Pain is just painful. You see?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the most beneficial and good things that we can do in our lives have pain involved, right? And a lot of the most horrible things in the world that we can do to each other have a lot of pleasure involved. Isn't that right? So that's kind of where our morality is based. It's kind of a morality of skillfulness. Skillfulness to reduce suffering, skillfulness to recognize that when we do good, we feel good. When we help others, it's good for us, it's good for them. It's good in the beginning, it's good in the middle, and it's good in the end. So if someone came in here and made a donation to you, or offered, some kind of kindness, some kind of generosity to you, when they thought about doing that, they would feel good. When they did that, they would feel good. And when they thought back on that, they would feel good. And the same would be for you.
So based on feeling.
Well, it's based on, as to the greatest degree that we can as human beings, to determine cause and effect. It's based on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the practicality of it. So like, we can imagine that we are a being from another universe, or that we're like in a simulation or something like that. You can imagine that, and maybe that's true. But when it comes down to it, when you're hungry, you eat. And if you eat too much, you get fat. And if you eat too little, you get too skinny, or you'll die, right? The same with water, the same with anything. So it's also about being humble enough to know our own experience, and to have a relationship with our own experience rather than complicated thinking about things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you believe in Buddha, right?
Believe in Buddha?
Mm-hmm.
Who is the Buddha?
I don't know too much.
Right. So we believe in not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in not knowing as being a foundation for understanding the truth.
And what does Buddha have to do with that?
So Buddhism is a kind of a system of yoga, we could say. Maybe you've done some yoga, but in the past, yoga was coming out of India, right? And it was all these Indian guys, dark skin. Some of them they just wore loincloths, and they lived in the forest, and they had, long dreadlocks and things like that. And the Buddha was a yogi, or a sadhu. He was someone who left his life behind. He was a prince. He had many wives. He had the most luxurious experience that you can have at that time in ancient India. And he realized that underlying all of this pleasure and wonderfulness of materialism that he was experiencing, status and wealth and all that, there was this suffering, there was this unsatisfactoriness there. And there was a prediction made when the Buddha was first born by one of these psychic people in the time of India. And that psychic said, your son, your baby boy, will either be a great conqueror, and he was a prince, so the king wants him to be a great conqueror, a great king, or he will be, and protected him in this fear of opulence. Okay? And one day the Buddha went out, and he saw a dead person, he saw a sick person, and he saw an old person. And Buddha didn't even know what those things were. Siddhartha Gautama was his name. He didn't even know what those things were. That's how shielded he was. And he asked his assistant that was with him, he said, what is this? He said, oh, that's death, that's sickness, that's old age. The Buddha's like, that's going to happen to me. And there was an awareness in that. There was a mindfulness of birth and death, right? There was a mindfulness of sickness, old age, and death. And so the Buddha was overwhelmed by this palpable suffering, this palpable unsatisfactoriness. And he knew that none of the things that he relied upon could protect him from sickness, old age, and death. So he left home and he became one of these yogis, right? One of these dreadheads out there in the streets, practicing meditation, all this stuff. And then he went and sat under the Bodhi tree and got the enlightenment, got the true freedom from suffering. So there was no more suffering. And the Buddha represents that. The Buddha represents the mind of no more suffering, and the Buddha represents the possibility for us as human beings to walk down that path. And so that's why we lift the Buddha up. That's why we revere the Buddha. That's literally what the Buddha.
So it's a story.
What is it?
It's a story, right?
Well, it's a record of a human experience.
So it happened.
Probably.
You don't know.
Well, I don't know what's happening next door.
Mhm.
So, I mean, right? So, like next door, there's probably another house, or there's something going on next door, right? I don't even know what's going on over there. So, I definitely don't know what went on 2,600 years ago in ancient India. But if we look at Buddhism as a tradition, it's unparalleled in its sustainability and its efficacy and its concreteness of continuity. There's no other tradition like it. So the Buddha founded Buddhism through his enlightenment in ancient India 2,600 years ago. Now, in modern day, and that means he built a sangha. He built a community of people, monks and nuns, who lived full-time as beggars and as spiritual practitioners in the society, as a part of the society. So from that, hundreds and hundreds of years later, these monks and this Buddhism spread to China, to Japan, to South Korea, to Vietnam, to Sri Lanka, to Laos, to Cambodia, to all of these countries, and it stays, that order stays alive today. So it must have been something very, very special. It must have been something really, really unique to be able to sustain itself like that. And in a very practical and kind of simple way, because we don't worship the Buddha. We don't even think about the beginning of the universe, or, you know, what's going to happen after we die in that sense. We just have the answer, which is, this is our teacher, Sayadaw. We just have the answer that it's a cause and effect. And it goes back to, if you do good, how do you feel? You feel good. If you do bad, how do you feel? You feel bad. So coming together here is just like an operation and a retreat of doing good together. We'll be, actually in this session, we'll be sharing our experiences, so you can hang out and listen.
So you think, according to the Buddhist, the meaning of life is accepting life as it is and embracing freedom?
No.
No. Okay.
Because for someone who's locked in a box, freedom is a bigger box. And for someone who's in a bigger box, freedom is a bigger box, especially as, you know, having this American influence. So we don't really know what freedom is until we stop chasing after our desires. And then we notice how our desires control our freedom. So once you can get through this this kind of knot of seeking desire, getting desire, feeling pain, trying to avoid pain, etc., right? This just continuous thing, then you don't know what freedom is, because you haven't stopped. And to the degree that we stop, we can know more deeply what kind of box that we're actually in.
Wouldn't you say you're experiencing freedom right now as a Buddhist? Because you're not tied to too many things?
Well,
as a monk, you're not really tied to a lot of things, right?
there are many situations that you know, like the Buddha saw with sickness, old age, and death. And so having practiced a lot of meditation and kind of faced sickness to a degree, and faced, you know, the feelings of death to a degree, and seen a lot of old suffering people, you know, I can definitely say that there's a lot more freedom to be had, and that's a practical approach, because it's very easy to convince ourselves that we have what we want when it comes to the mind. You know, it's like when you get into a relationship and you say, oh, this this is the person that I've been looking for. This is my loved one. And then you get married or you start to stay with them, and then, there's no fairy tales in that. Any adults can tell you that, And a lot of children can tell you that too. Ciaro, this is a young woman from Brazil who just walking by and was curious. So I've just been telling them a little bit about the Buddhism and the things like that.
So Brazil, Portuguese?
Huh?
Portuguese, speak Portuguese.
Yeah. Do you speak? So there's going to be a class?
Well, it's kind of a happening.
Oh, just right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's no, you say you guys don't think about who created everything, right? So I was talking to someone about that, and we're talking about how if you look at biology, everything has an order and a pattern, right? Like your DNA, there's a code. So I was just thinking, if there's a code to everything in biology, there must be a creator, just like a computer code. Someone writes it. Someone has to write the code to make a function, right? It can come from.
This is for the master has the clearer answer than I do about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more like a. Let's move over here a little bit.
You can move the chair also.
Okay, I see. You can bring your cushion.
Here.
Anywhere where you can see. Yeah, maybe that's better. You can see.
What's the question?
So I was talking to someone about having a creator, and when you look at life, when you look at biology and everything has a pattern and a code in order to make something, right? Like you write a computer code to make a function. Your DNA is also a code to make a function, but it has to come from a creator, something to create that. It can't come from randomness.
Yeah, please. So everyone.
All right. So my question is about creation. So just like when you write a code in a computer to make a function, you need a person, a creator to write the code and make that function. And like in biology, it's the same thing, right? Our DNA has a code to make a specific function for the human being. And this is why I think there must be a creator behind that, because there is an order to biology and there's a pattern. It can't come from like randomness. Does that make sense?
Dạ rồi, mà chúng được máy được ra vậy. Bhante, okay. Okay now. Here.
If we accept creation as something, creator as someone, there will be attachment on something or someone, for sure. We are easy to accept oneself or someone or something as real, true. But it is really difficult to detach from oneself or someone or something. The question itself is created by attachment on oneself or someone or something. That's why we may rely on someone like God as creator. Besides, we can also rely another living beings like Deva or Brahma in Hinduism. They accept Brahma as the creator. Besides, we can also rely on ourselves as creator. I can speak, I can think, I can eat, I can be healthy, I can be long life, I can be rich. In this way, some people may rely on themselves as creator. They may not accept someone like God or Brahma. Brahma means one living beings with long time life. As long as we attach on the idea of oneself or someone or something, there will be arguments, fighting, rejecting. I will rely on no one, only myself, or I will rely only on God, not on myself and the other. In this way, there will be problems between each other or each religion. It is easy to accept the idea of oneself or someone or something as real, but that is not the complete answer. To solve the problems of the living beings. Some people rely on themselves, no religion. In this way, when they lost their family members, wives or husband or father or mother or children, they cannot endure. They cannot forget. In this way, they have to suffer the whole of their life. Some people may suicide by themselves because they have no one to rely on. Because nothing is permanent, no one is permanent. Only cause and effect or action or reaction of non-self, not oneself. Non-self impermanent nature is permanent. We should start to accept non-self or no self or cause and effect or action and the same reaction of impermanent nature, ever new impermanent nature as the truth. This is the no self or selfless, non-self so well. We need to install in the mind. But the mind itself is also not oneself, not our mind. We are using the mind and the life, the body, not much different from each other. Only the appearance, only the age, only gender, only nationality, only citizenship may be different from each other. But we are using the same ever new non-self, ever new impermanent nature. If you are hardworking in education, you can be educated. It is possible. If you are healthy, if you have enough finance to get degree from the university, you can be educated. So also anyone can be the same. If you are hardworking in your job skillfully, you can be rich. This is the same for all. This is because of cause and effect of non-self impermanent nature. We need to accept the truth of non-self or no self or action and reaction of ever new impermanent nature in order to detach from the idea of oneself. This is of oneself in order to install the new software of non-self. It is possible because for living beings, for us, easy to use the idea of oneself. This is my life. This is my belongings. Very easy. We don't need we are not difficult to grasp the idea of oneself, but we are very difficult to detach from the idea of oneself. We can use the idea of oneself without grasping and attaching in the mind. Now, in your question, there is grasping, the attaching, the idea of oneself. That grasping and attaching use is wrong. We can use our life, our belongings, our family members, our friends, without grasping and attaching in the mind. That is right understanding and action. This is new thinking or new idea. We should test, we should try to use. If it is not useful, we can stop using the truth of non-self. We can stop using the software of non-self or no-self. There are many students, they try to get degree from the university, but in Myanmar, most of the children cannot get degree. They cannot attend the school and university till they get degree because there are many problems, because of sickness, because of finance. They stop studying school lesson and then they cannot get degree. So also many people try to be rich, but because of making mistake, because of sickness, because of misfortune, they cannot be rich. They are in trouble. There are many homeless here in this country. They already try hard, but nothing is complete. No system is complete. Democracy or communist, no system, no political system is complete. There is good points, there are good points, so also there are weakness or side effect. In this way, many people are in trouble, not much rich, not much educated, not much healthy. To solve, I am helping many people in need of the society for education, healthcare, shelter, food, and also practicing meditation, like this. If they cannot rely on themselves or their parents or their friends or their intelligence, ability, they can rely on the mark or non-self or cause and effect of impermanent nature. In this way, they can be educated, they can be rich, they can be long life, they can get enlightenment. I have been teaching like this for over 23 years continuously. In this way, more and more people can develop. They can go to school, they can work in the society. They can practice meditation, but they must use the truth of non-self or no-self, just cause and effect of impermanent nature. You just need to change their view from someone to no one, from someone to everyone or no one, from something to everything or nothing. This is detachment from the idea of oneself or their life. They can get more and more easily what they want. The truth of non-self is also to be using only without grasping and attaching in the mind. Grasping use is wrong. Attaching use is wrong. Using only without grasping and attaching in the mind is right. Just need to change our view from someone to everyone or no one, from something to everything or nothing.
So it's about accepting things as they are, not thinking about what created it, just life is because it is.
We must assess cause and effect or action and reaction. But that cause and effect or action and reaction are just doing only, happening only. No one is doing, nothing is doing. No one suffer. If you work hard in your job, you can save money, you can get good name, but this is the effect. Not only you, everyone can be the same. So we should not accept the person who receive good or bad consequence. We need to detach from the idea of oneself. In this way, we can work for everyone. We can help everything. We can solve the problems of everyone as much as we can. This is trying to be doing only. We are still young and healthy. That's why we can do. We need nothing because health is important. Besides, nothing is difficult for the young people. They can learn language, they can learn technology, they can learn meditation. Nothing is difficult for the young people. That's why we don't need to worry for ourselves. We just need to detach from ourselves. And then we can help poor and sick people who cannot survive by themselves. They are homeless, helpless. We can use our intelligence and ability for them also. Our parents, our grandparents, or other old and sick people who are in need of help. They cannot. This way, we can arrange to support them. In this way, our life will be useful for more and more people who are concerned with us. Besides, we can meditate. Meditation is spiritual wealth and health. Meditation is concerned with health and work of the mind. Here in the Western country, this is developing countries are developed not in spirituality, but in materialism. Many material. So there are many good points in material and then weakness in the mind. If we emphasize on the mind, there will be good points in the mind and there will be weakness in the body of material. No one is complete, nothing is complete. That's why we should work together. We can help each other. In this way, we both can develop. We can share each other. The real problem is attachment on oneself. That's why we are thinking only for ourselves. We are learning education. Most of the people are learning education only for themselves, not for the other. This is because of attachment. We take care of our life, our belonging, because of attachment on oneself. Attachment is not right. We need to detach. We can take care of ourselves, but not with ignorance and attachment, but with mindfulness and detachment. We should emphasize to help the other who are concerned with us. We can help as much as we should try to help as much as we can. We can share our belongings for the people who are concerned with us. We can give as much as we have. By giving, we can receive giving of the other. By helping, we can get help from the other, for sure. This is action and the same reaction. Besides, we should not accept killing. We should accept no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no telling lies, no using drugs and alcohol. Not only physical action, but also mental action. We are easy to accept killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, telling lies, and using drugs and alcohol. We are easy to accept breaking precepts. Because of attachment on killing, we cannot accept no killing in the mind. So we must accept keeping precepts like this, and then we should accept mindfulness and detachment. Not only for us, but also for everyone, for all, for non-self-impermanent nature. This is the truth, what we should represent, or what we should rely on. In this way, we don't need to worry for ourselves and the other. We don't need to rely on living beings and non-living beings or infinite universe. Attachment is the cause of problems or suffering. That's why we need to detach with this right understanding.
think happens when we die, after we die?
Not only everyone, all living beings must die for sure. This is the truth. We should accept. We should not attach only on death of someone or I. We should detach. If we cannot detach, that question will continues. And that question itself is the problem. We don't know if we attach on oneself or I, we are not sure what will happen. Every good or bad can happen when we die. We are sure, we should believe like that, because of attachment, there will be new life when we die. And then there will be the same question, what will happen when we die? That question itself is created by attachment on oneself. That question is created by the idea of oneself. If we cannot detach without answer, we can answer, but we cannot be satisfied. If we can detach from the idea of oneself, we can understand just cause and effect of impermanent nature. No I, no you, not mine, not my life, not your life. In this way, no one is alive, no one died. In this way, no more question. What is happening to me now, or what will happen when we die? There will be no more question. If we can detach from the idea of oneself, that is the best answer. You can be satisfied if you can practice. You can be more satisfied if you can detach from the idea of oneself. Because of attachment on oneself, we are working only for ourselves. We are thinking only for ourselves. We are asking questions only for ourselves. If we can detach, no more questions. Questions are not questions anymore. Because of attachment to ask this kind of question, we must continue to ask this kind of question. One life after another, one time after another. This is right understanding about non-self. We must use this right understanding whatever we do. In this way, your mind and your life will change for sure.
You say when we detach from self, that question won't come to the mind.
Sure.
So we should think about that everything here is not ours, but we use our body, we use our mind, but it doesn't belong to us.
No,
No.
we should not accept ourselves as we should not no subject, no object, just action and reaction. If we do bad to someone, that bad action is the cause of giving bad, creating bad, the same bad action by the another one. Whenever we are helping each other, we should emphasize only on our action of helping. We should emphasize to fulfill their need as much as possible, because in order to detach from ourselves, in this way, our helping action will create to get help back from the other living beings. May not be the same person, but maybe the same reaction for sure. If we are not helping, that action will create not getting help from the other. To get good consequence and to respond the same good action. Bad action is also the cause of getting the same bad action from the others.
Saying give good energy to receive good energy.
Yes. Whenever we give, whatever we get, it will return back to us for sure. Not only for this life, for endless life cycle. Now you are healthy, or you are intelligent because you are helping, you are taking care of the health of the other. You are also sharing what you understand. In this way, you can be intelligent and you can be healthy now. This is giving back what you gave before. This is right understanding. With this right understanding, we dare not kill anyone or any animals, insects. If we destroy the life, that action will create to destroy our life. That's why we should keep precept seriously for our safety, protection.
So you say happiness is detaching from oneself, others, and things.
Happiness is detaching from oneself.
Others and things.
Yes. Happiness, we need to detach from happiness also. We need to detach from both of happiness and sadness, because attachment is the real problem. So if we can detach, we can be happy, we can be sad, but there will be no suffering. No problem.
Talking about peace. Peace
Yes, yes.
means detachment.
So if we die, someone, if we had someone die who are friendly with us, we can be sad. But if we can detach, we can be peaceful.
So I think peace is more permanent and happiness and sadness is not as permanent as peace because happiness and sadness relies on attachment and peace doesn't.
Peace of the country, peace of the mind are also permanent. If we attach on peace, we will be far away from peace. If we can detach from peace, we can get peace. Attachment is the cause of problems, difficulties to get what we want. The more we want, the less we get, like that. But we must not be greedy. I want to get right now. I want to get rich as soon as possible. That is, it began greed. We should not be greedy. We must aim high. We must also prepare for the wars. We must not attach. We must detach
You're talking about
from our aim.
like doing our part, but detaching from the results, but making sure that we do our part, what we can do.
But what do you mean?
That we do our part, but we don't we detach from the results, but we just make sure we do our part.
We must detach from both of cause and effect also, action and reaction also. We must be kind to anyone, but we must not attach on being kind. Besides, we must not attach to receive kindness from the other. Attachment need to detach. If we can detach, we can accept both of kindness or rudeness. If we can detach, we can accept both of love and hatred. We can endure. The mind can be peaceful.
So detachment is just accepting things as they are.
Accepting as it is, good or bad, whatever good or bad, happen in us and in the others. Because of the action or the action are the real creator. Because of bad action, we are sure to receive bad action from the other. Because of good action, we are sure to receive good action from the others. The person who is doing good or bad, or who is receiving good or bad, are not much important. We should emphasize the action and reaction only, with detachment. You can be man or you can be a woman. You can be educated or you can be uneducated. You can be poor, you can be rich. That is not important. If to detach from yourself, from your weakness and good points is really important. We need to detach from good and bad action and consequence. We need to emphasize to practice mindfulness and detachment at every present moment, everywhere, in every condition, with everyone. For me, I'm not much interested who you are, where are you staying, what is your job, but I'm interested ignorance and attachment in your mind. In this way, I can help many people to teach about mindfulness and detachment. If I cannot detach from the person who you are, or what is your job, I cannot emphasize your ignorance and attachment. You must also practice the same. You must detach from yourself and the other in order to emphasize ignorance and attachment more and more. Ignorance is ignorance. If there is mindfulness, there will be less and less ignorance. If we are not mindful, ignorance will be ignorance. Attachment will be attachment. Only when we are mindful, there will be less ignorance. Only when we detach, there will be less attachment.
How do you practice detachment or mindfulness?
In the beginning, for the beginners, it is really difficult. That's why we need meditation center, meditation retreat like this. We need meditators, meditation teacher to learn about mindfulness and detachment. The more we are more and more time we need to practice meditation or mindfulness and detachment like this. In this way, the more we can detach from the job of the society. Before I practice meditation, I was the owner of my own business. I have been working for 7 years continuously buying and selling the household goods. All kinds of household goods like mini market. It's true. In this way, I'm attached on business, on my own business. When I practice meditation in one of the meditation retreat like this, I need to go away from my job. I need to stay away from my customer and laborers or workers. I need to stop my business temporarily. I'm certified to practice mindfulness and detachment by keeping preset, by helping each other. That's why I try. I got peace of the mind. My mind is certified in practicing meditation more than education and business and healthcare. That's why I practice more and more. The more I go to the meditation retreat, the more I practice mindfulness and detachment in my daily activities, the more I can detach from my job, business, from my belongings, from my life as a human being. In this way, I became full-time meditators and meditation teacher, and I became a monk like this for over 24 years continuously. This is the power of Dhamma, or doing good deeds, or keeping precepts, or practicing mindfulness and detachment. If I dare not practice mindfulness and detachment, or if I dare not keep precepts, by no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no telling lie, no using drugs and alcohol, I cannot detach from my business, and I may continue my own business. I may get sick, I may die, because very dangerous. Business, politics, healthcare, all these are many side effects. But I can stop my own business. That's why I'm safe. I can be long life. I can understand cause and effect on non-self. In this way, I'm satisfied with this kind of doing good deeds, with this kind of teaching. I'm satisfied by helping the most needy people in the society as much as we can. I open full-time meditation center. This is foundation or organization. There is no limit. Anyone can join in our Zen meditation center. Anyone can work together. In this way, this USA Bhante also learning from me and doing good deeds together here in US and also in other countries. We are Dhamma friends because of practicing Dhamma or mindfulness and detachment. If we are not practicing meditation, we cannot be together like this. We cannot understand. We cannot be friendly each other. In this way, I can have many friends, followers, devotees, supporters, donors, because of practicing mindfulness and detachment for over 23 years continuously. You can also do the same to change your mind, your life. If you can detach from yourself. If you cannot detach, you must continue the same like this. You can be just one living being, a man, infinite living beings. If you are not practicing meditation. If you can practice meditation like us, you can be one of the meditators, one of the meditation teacher like us. You can be the leader in helping people of the society, You can be many good things. You can be satisfied. You can get success as much as you try hard. Because this is the greatest action or job we can do. No side effect in giving, sharing, no side effect in keeping precepts, no side effect in practicing mindfulness and detachment. You must dare to understand and practice like this. You can be a nun like them also. They are also the same like you, like lay people or just women, girl. They are practicing meditation like us. In this way, they can detach from the society. They can be nun. They can share what they understand. They can help many people. They don't need to work for money. They just need to work only for merits or good deeds. There are over 500 nuns and 500 monks in my own meditation center. There are over 100 meditation centers in Myanmar and in other countries. Only when you, this is to detach. You don't need to be a nun, or you don't need to volunteer in the meditation center permanently. It is better if you can do good deeds permanently till you die. But it is also possible to detach temporarily, to volunteer for temporary. In the beginning, we are just testing for a few days or months. If we are satisfied, we can continue for long term.
What's the difference in your life now compared to when you were practicing your business?
As a businessman, I'm just one of the businessmen. As a student, I'm just one of the students. Many students. But as a full-time meditator and meditation teacher, not much people like me. Only a few people are able to do like this. That's why I was respect and rely by many people in the world. I was welcomed by many people because very rare job to do, very difficult job to do. I dare to do, I'm able to do, I'm able to teach like this. That's why my position became more and more higher in the society because of doing good deeds like this. Cannot compare, quite different, opposite. As a non-meditator and meditator, cannot look cannot compare. This is also real education. The more we do like this, the more I teach you, the more I can understand. I get back what I give to the other. This is education. This is the best learning for me also, not only for you. The more I help you, the more I can get help from the other. If I'm not helping you and the other, I cannot get help from the other. This is cause and effect. With this right understanding, I was busy by helping, giving, donating, keeping precepts, practicing and teaching meditation of mindfulness and detachment from 1999 till now. I started practicing meditation as a businessman, as a human being or lay person. After 2 years later, I became a monk. Till now. As soon as I became a monk, I got a chance to teach meditation. In this way, I can make use of that opportunity in the best way. In this way, I have been busy by teaching like this all the time. Teaching online and offline. Teaching to the many people, teaching privately. That is my life. Mindfulness and detachment is my life. Keeping preset, helping the most needy people is my life, my job. You should try if you can understand. If not, you may regret in the future. Because more and more Westerners are also interested in practicing meditation. If you are not practicing meditation, you may lose your opportunity. Your life may not sure what will happen in the future and in the future life.
When did you know you had the alignment?
When? Only when I practice meditation, I came to know I don't know what is enlightenment. I know I'm not enlightened. I don't know about keeping precept because I'm not keeping precept. I don't know about helping people or giving or donating. Only when I help people, only when I donate or give, I came to know more and more about dana or giving or sharing whatever we have. Only when I practice meditation, I came to know more and more about meditation. In this way, before I practice meditation, I know nothing about keeping precepts, helping people, and practicing meditation. Because of doing good deeds more and more like this, I came to understand there are many things I don't know. That's why I want to know more and more. I don't like non-enlightenment. I don't like breaking precepts. I don't like not giving or helping to the other. In this way, I try because of continuous doing good deeds like this, I came to understand my mind already changed, life already changed. I can understand a lot. In this way, I can understand myself as a real meditator, a real meditation teacher. We can get enlightenment as much as we dare to do good deeds. Doing good deeds can reduce our own anger and delusion. Enlightenment is mindfulness and detachment of enlightenment can be from changing from anger to loving kindness, greed to less greed or no greed, desire to no more desire. Enlightenment is changing from wrong understanding or delusion to right understanding. Changing from ignorance to mindfulness. We must know ourselves as we are not enlightened, but we must dare to do good deeds more and more, and then we can understand we got enlightenment more and more. If there is no more greed, anger and delusion, there will be complete enlightenment, complete loving kindness, complete power of having greed, complete power of having no delusion or ignorance. She became a woman because of attachment on woman. We can be beautiful because of attachment on beauty. We can be rich because of attachment on richness. But we attach on bad result also. That's why we are sick, we are poor, we are ugly because of attachment. If we can reduce our attachment, we are easy to get what we want.
families? Or how does that work?
What is the life of the monk?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, with their families.
For the monks and nuns, our parents is Buddha. Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha are our parents, our teacher, our friends. Besides, we are the other monks and the other nuns are like brother and sister. The same parents, Dhamma or Buddha or Sangha is the same parents for all monks and men. And then the men, monks and nuns, we are brother like brother and sister. Dhamma family, Dhamma. There is Buddhist family. That's why we don't need to worry for the parents in the society. We don't need to worry for our brother and sister in the society. We can be friendly with the other monks, nuns, and meditators, volunteers. We are safe by ourselves. We don't need to work for money. We don't need much rely on medicine and government education. We don't need to fully rely on government also. We are complete with Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and Dhamma friends. We can go and see our parents in the society. We can also come and stay in the temple or monastery, like this. There are many solutions to solve the problem for the meditators or monks or nuns. Nothing is difficult.
How long do you meditate? Every day? How long do you meditate?
Every present moment, not day, not months, not years. We emphasize the real time, which is ever new impermanent nature or present moment. That is the real time. Day, months, years, life are just created truth or limited truth. So as a meditator, we work with every present moment. We don't emphasize what day it is, what month it is, what year it is. We are not rejecting. We are just using both of created time and original time with mindfulness and detachment. We are not much reliant on the society. That's why we don't need to worry much for money, for time, for discipline, for everything. We don't need to worry. We can survive by ourselves, by our own good deeds. I will be here in the United States till 26 December. And then I and Medical Bhante will fly to Taiwan for 2 days. And then from Taiwan, 3 days in Bangkok. From Bangkok, I will go to Myanmar for 6 days. And then I will be in India. He will also be in India from 9 January till the end of February for meditation retreat. Like this, in India, from one place to another. You can also join. We are free to do good deeds. That's why anyone can join or not join. Many people will follow for the trip. US is difficult to get visa. For India, easy. Therefore, there are many monks and nuns in India, from Myanmar, from Vietnam.
It's exciting. And for the people that want to get the spiritual development, the spiritual wealth development, have to be excited and engaged and interested, because it's very difficult. So it's like some people, maybe they're really good at high school basketball, but they didn't, then they go to college and they're not as interested anymore. Maybe they have the potential to be playing in the NBA, but they're not interested. So one of the special quality that this tradition has is the freedom and the openness. So we can really, like Seattle says, we have the platform to do good deeds limitlessly and continuously together. And we can invite our friends, we can invite our family, we can invite anyone to come and participate full time. And because the freedom is not about Buddhism. The truth is not about Buddhism. Enlightenment is not about Buddhism. But because we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we can be supported by the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha are about truth, are about freedom, are about enlightenment only. And helping others also is important. So that is like the opportunity to change your life fully for the rest of your life. Because if you become skillful in freedom or enlightenment or doing good deeds on your own, it's not for sure what will happen to you when you are old, when you are sick, when you are alone. It's not for sure what will happen. But when you become skillful in the enlightenment or the freedom and helping others concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, it's not. It is like the greatest charity organization that has ever existed, and it has existed continuously for more than 2,000 years continuously. So you for sure will have the support. And many people can come and they can be supported. And the people who have the extra resources, who will listen to us, they can also come and support and participate, not just in one place, but in any place, every place. Starting new meditation center and building new communities using this foundation. Freely.
Talk about how helping others is kind of like enlightenment. Is it because you're practicing detachment from self by helping others?
The greatest freedom or the greatest gift is to sacrifice yourself, because this goes beyond life and death. This goes beyond suffering. When you give up yourself, when you give away yourself, maybe you cannot do that, but you know that that is the right thing to do, so you give everything that you can give. And if you are not a Buddhist, maybe it's not going to work. But as a Buddhist, we give like that, taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. So for sure, we will get back more than we give. Because it's not possible to give as much as the Buddha gives. It's not possible to give as much as the Dhamma gives. It's not possible to give as much as the Sangha gives. It's impossible. So when we give as much as we can, or even we give everything that we can, the Sangha will give more, for sure.
Talking about blessings, right? Blessings.
Well, we can think about it in terms of blessings, but we can use anything. We can use our material possessions, we can use our skills, we can use our relationships, we can use our experiences. We can share our experiences. And the Sangha has the greatest experience of all. So we will always be safe to share if we take refuge in the Sangha.
How does Buddhism approach forgiveness or approach someone that harmed you?
You cannot harm the Buddha. So because we take refuge in the Buddha, we take refuge in non-harming. We take refuge in the freedom from harm. And when we know the freedom from harm, and when we have relationships based on taking refuge in that which cannot be harmed, we don't have to worry about those people who have harmed us or how we have harmed other people, because it's like we are in the cycle of forgiveness already when we are concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha.
Like you're talking about you're detached from the feeling of feeling harm.
It's not just detachment, it's also that the harm itself is the compassion. Because without that harm, there is not something to be aware of, there is not something to wish to end. So actually, the failures or the sufferings or the difficulties are the source material, the key ingredient to Nibbana. So we might have a lot of suffering. Some people have too much suffering, too much heavy karma. So in this life, they cannot, they couldn't.
Believe in karma.
Karma is a cause and effect. Yeah. So we can see someone has a certain conditions or a certain cause and effect that in this lifetime, maybe they cannot get the enlightenment. But because they have suffered so much in this lifetime, then they will have more experience with the truth, the First Noble Truth, that there is suffering in the next lifetime.
The next lifetime.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Unless you get the enlightenment, then you will be cycling around and around and around in circles, going from the higher realms to the lower realms.
About another life.
Yeah. It's not just this life.
How do you know?
Because I have seen myself change. So if I look back to my past selves, my past experiences, as much as I can say that is me, I also can say that is not me. Because I am not in that situation. I do not have that mind. I am not doing those things. I am not around those people. I am not having those experiences. So the self or the someone is conditional according to the cause and effect. The self, it doesn't exist separately from anything else. So in this way, we are having many different lifetimes. We find ourselves in many different versions. You can say versions of yourself. You can look at it that way, but if we look more and more closely, like how the Buddha did, we will see that originally there is not a self there. There is not someone there. That someone is just an idea. And it's not a very good idea for the planet, for our relationships with other people. It's not a very good idea for being healthy and wealthy. So we use the idea of no self to change the programming and to change the software, to get rid of the virus of self. So no self is an antivirus program. It's still a program, but it's an antivirus. Anti-selfishness, anti-greed, anti-anger, anti-delusion.
You're talking about the ego, right?
You can call it a lot of different things, but it's just the notion of separation.
Like, so if you can separate yourself from your ego, then there's less suffering, less harm, less selfishness, and less bad deeds.
If you can detach from your ego, then yes. But it's just like if you are mining, right? Let's say you have a mining machine. If you go mining for dirt or you go mining for rocks, you can do that, but it's going to be very difficult to become healthy and wealthy by mining rocks, looking for rocks. But if you are mining for diamonds, rubies, sapphires, then you don't have to worry about being healthy and wealthy. It's not for sure that you will find it, because that's according to your blessings, not according to you being in control.
Wouldn't you say that doing good also comes from ego? Because when we do good, we feel good.
No, that's the virus of ego. It's like, is a tree